you're dropping serious cash on a luxury car, it better be worth every penny. Because, let's be real, some so-called luxury cars are just overpriced headaches wrapped in leather seats. In this video, I'll show you 14 of the best luxury cars you can actually trust in 2025, whether you want power, prestige, or pure comfort. And wait till you see number 5. It's so exclusive, even celebrities struggle to get one. Starting our countdown at number 14 is the 2025 Aston Martin Vanquish. And this thing is pure automotive theater. I've seen the prototypes up close, and for around $432,000, you're getting the spiritual successor to the DBS. Under that sculpted hood sits either a twin-turbo V8 or a hybrid V6 that delivers over 700 horsepower, and this power is channeled through an 8-speed automatic transmission. The Vanquish will rocket you to 60 in about 3.2 seconds, all while that signature Aston exhaust note hits you right in the chest. She'll do the quarter mile in 11 flat and tops out around 200 miles per hour, which is plenty fast for something this gorgeous. Inside, it's exactly what you'd expect from Gaydon. Hand-stitched leather everywhere, with a 2+2 layout that's technically usable but really just for show. The new infotainment finally brings Aston into the modern era with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, though I'm told the early build still had some software quirks they're ironing out. Fuel economy is about 15 city, 22 highway, but honestly, if you're counting MPGs in an Aston, you've missed the point entirely. Despite its performance credentials, the Vanquish comes with an impressive suite of driver assistance features, including adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking, because even the wealthy occasionally need to be saved from themselves. Moving up our list to number 13, we find the 2025 Ferrari 12 Cilindri, Maranello's latest love letter to the naturally aspirated V12. 467K gets you into the club, and what you're paying for is that glorious 6.5-liter masterpiece, pumping out 830 plus horsepower without a turbo or electric motor in sight. The sound alone is worth the price of admission. Performance is exactly what you'd expect: 2.8 seconds to 60, quarter mile in 10.2, and a top end of 211 miles per hour. The 8-speed dual clutch snaps off shifts in milliseconds. And unlike some of Ferrari's hybrid offerings, this one's all about the mechanical connection. Cabin-wise, they've finally found the sweet spot between race car minimalism and luxury, though good luck finding space for anything beyond a weekend bag. The 10.25-inch display handles infotainment duties without being distracting, and Ferrari's much improved their smartphone integration since the Roma. Enhanced stability control, front-end side airbags, and parking sensors come standard because even Ferrari understands that their clients are merely human. Fuel economy is predictably thirsty at 12 city, 16 highway, but that V12 soundtrack more than makes up for those frequent pit stops. Number 12 on our list is the 2025 Bentley Continental GT, which remains the definitive grand tourer for the $250,000 crowd, priced at $306K. The latest generation builds on everything that made the Conti great, starting with powertrain options that include either the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 or the full-fat 6.0-liter W12 for those who simply must have 12 cylinders. The 8-speed dual-clutch transmission delivers power to all 4 wheels, and the W12 version hits 60 in 3.5 seconds, does the quarter in 11.8, and reaches a top speed of 208 miles per hour. What really sets the Continental apart is that perfect balance between performance and luxury. The adaptive air suspension reads the road 100 times per second and adjusts accordingly, so you're floating on air in comfort mode, but planted and responsive in sport. Inside, it's a masterclass in craftsmanship. 310 individually sewn diamond stitches on the door panels alone. The rotating dashboard display still delights every passenger who sees it for the first time. And the 2025 model finally adds haptic feedback to the touch controls. Unlike most exotics, the Continental actually works as a daily driver with usable back seats and a trunk that'll swallow a couple of golf bags. Fuel economy lands at 14 city, 22 highway, which honestly isn't bad considering what this car can do. The driver assistance suite now includes night vision that actually works, unlike some of the earlier systems. At number 11, we have the 2025 Bentley Flying Spur. And let me tell you, this thing is basically a Continental GT that's been hitting the gym and taking stretching classes. Starting at $276K, you're looking at either the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 or the mighty 6.0-liter W12 that some insiders tell me might be the last of its kind before electrification takes over completely. Both engines are paired with an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Performance-wise, it'll hustle to 60 in 3.7 seconds, despite weighing as much as a small yacht. That's what 626 horses and all-wheel drive will do for you. Quarter mile comes in at 12 flat, and the top speed hits 207 miles per hour, which is borderline ridiculous for what's essentially a boardroom on wheels. The Flying Spur's party trick is how it manages to feel both stately and surprisingly agile. Inside its next-level opulence, each car takes over 100 hours just for the interior craftsmanship alone. The rear seats are so comfortable, you'll nearly doze off on your test drive. Tech-wise, the rotating dashboard display never gets old, and the rear touchscreen remote lets your chauffeur know exactly how you want your massage settings and champagne temperature. Fuel economy lands at about 15 city, 20 highway, but with a 23.8-gallon tank, you'll still manage a decent range between those inevitable fill-ups. The safety suite is comprehensive enough to satisfy the most paranoid oligarch, with a 360-degree camera system. Breaking into our top 10 is the 2025 Ferrari SF90XX Stradale. And this thing is basically what happens when Ferrari's engineers have absolutely zero adults in the room to tell them no. 890K gets you into one of the most extreme road-legal Ferraris ever built. The powertrain is straight up bonkers. A twin-turbo V8 paired with 3 electric motors for a combined 1,016+ horsepower. You will black out hitting 60 in under 2.5 seconds. And it'll crush the quarter mile in 9.5 seconds, which is motorcycle territory. Top speed is 211 miles per hour, and with an 8-speed Magna 8DC L900 dual clutch, this is the hypercar. Inside, everything is carbon fiber, Alcantara, or machined aluminum. There's not an ounce of unnecessary weight anywhere. The digital displays are pure race car. They only show what you need to know when you're pulling 1.5 lateral Gs through a corner. You get about 15 miles of pure electric range, which seems pointless but helps it dodge some European emission regulations. Combined fuel economy is around 18 miles per gallon if you're gentle, which exactly zero owners will ever be. The brake-by-wire system takes some getting used to. And for safety, let's just say the carbon ceramic brakes and that insane aero package will save your life far more effectively than any electronic nanny. At number 9 is the 2025 Rolls-Royce Spectre. It's Rolls' first all-electric offering, and at $422K, it's where luxury is headed. Power comes from dual electric motors pumping out 577 horses and a mountain-moving 664 pound-feet of torque. There's no transmission in the traditional sense, and despite weighing nearly 3 tons, I'm not exaggerating, it's still hitting 60 in 4.4 seconds, which feels surreal in something this massive. Quarter mile comes in at 12.8 seconds. They've limited the top speed to 155 miles per hour. The range is where things get impressive, 260 to 300 miles depending on whether you're cruising. They've packed this thing with over 700 pounds of sound insulation, making even the quietest ICE car feel noisy by comparison. Inside, it's classic Rolls-Royce opulence with a tech twist. That Starlight headliner now has over 4,000 individual stars that can be customized to mirror the night sky from any location or date. Those iconic coach doors now open and close automatically, and the entire car lowers itself 0.4 inches when parked to ease entry and exit. The planar suspension is straight up witchcraft. It uses cameras to scan the road 50 times per second and preps the suspension for upcoming imperfections. The infotainment system is so customizable, the key fob alone contains 18 components and takes 3 days to assemble. That's the level of obsession we're talking about here. Number 8 on our list is the 2025 Rolls-Royce Phantom. $500,000 is your buy-in, and honestly, that's just where the conversation starts. Power comes from that glorious 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12, pushing 563 horses through an 8-speed auto that's so smooth you'll question if there's even a transmission at all. It's not quick by supercar standards, 5.1 seconds to 60, 13.5 in the quarter, but that's entirely missing the point. This thing wafts rather than accelerates, like you're being carried forward on a cloud of money. The door closes with this perfect thunk that sounds like a bank vault in a luxury watch commercial. Inside, it's dead silent, like hearing your own heartbeat silent. They've got over 200 pounds of sound insulation and glass that's nearly half an inch thick. The leather? From cows raised at high altitude where there's no insects to bite them and mar the hides. The 12 miles per gallon city and 20 mile per gallon highway rating is laughable, but the 20-gallon tank means you won't be pulling into gas stations too often, which would be beneath you anyway. The car seats recline like first-class airline pods. The tech is there but hidden. Screens disappear behind wooden panels when not in use because Goodwood's designers understand that sometimes luxury means not having to look at a screen. Safety-wise, it's got everything short of a Secret Service agent riding shotgun. The night vision actually works, and it's one of the best out there. Number 7 brings us to the 2025 Rolls-Royce Ghost, which at $357K is what passes for the entry-level Rolls these days. I say that with air quotes the size of Texas because there's nothing entry-level about this machine. Under the mile-long bonnet sits the same 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12 from Big Brother Phantom, making an identical 563 horses, but in a slightly smaller, more driver-focused package. Same 8-speed auto, and she'll hit 60 in 4.6 seconds and clear the quarter mile in 12.9, with a top speed of 155 miles per hour. The planar suspension system is straight up black magic. There's a camera scanning the road ahead and making micro adjustments to the dampers, something like 100 times per second. Inside, they've gone with what Rolls calls post-opulence, which is basically rich people code for slightly less flashy, but actually more expensive. Every surface is either perfect leather, metal that's been polished for hours, or wood from trees that probably had names and pedigrees. Fuel economy is predictably dismal at 12 city, 19 highway, but again, if you're worried about that, there's a Toyota dealership down the street. The infotainment system is BMW derived, but so thoroughly reworked you'd never know it. And the bespoke audio system makes even studio quality headphones sound like dollar store garbage. Safety tech is comprehensive, the night vision with pedestrian detection and a driver attention monitor. Just shy from top 5, the 6th spot goes to the mythical 2026 Ferrari F80. This is Ferrari's answer to the hypercar Holy Trinity, and word around Maranello is that the price tag will start north of $3 million, meaning your name better be on Ferrari's platinum customer list, or you're not even getting a callback. The powertrain is next-level insanity. Word is they're developing a hybrid setup mating a twin-turbo V8 with electric motors for a combined output rumored to exceed 1,200 horsepower. They're targeting 0 to 60 in under 2.2 seconds and a quarter-mile time of 9.0 flat. Top speed may be somewhere north of 250 miles per hour, which is frankly terrifying in the best possible way. The cockpit is supposedly taking a page from their Formula One program, all carbon fiber, minimal distractions, and a seat that's molded to your body during the ordering process. Fuel economy, please. There's supposedly a token electric-only mode good for a few miles of silent cruising before that engine comes alive. But this isn't a car you buy to save the planet. The displays are pure race car, only the information you need when you need it, with zero concessions to luxury or comfort. Safety systems are racing-derived rather than your usual lane-keeping nonsense. Think advanced traction control that will let you hang the tail out just enough to feel like a hero before stepping in to save you from yourself. Breaking into our top 5 is the 2025 Mercedes Maybach S-Class. $215,000 gets you in the door, but I haven't seen one leave the factory for under $300K after options. You've got your choice of the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 or the full-fat 6.0-liter V12 that's basically extinct in everything else. She'll do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, the quarter in 12.8, and reach a top speed of 155 miles per hour. The Maybach is not designed for the person driving. Full stop. Everything, and I mean everything, is built around the rear right seat. Mercedes calls it the executive position, and I call it better than my actual house. The rear doors are coach style. They close themselves with a little button push because, touching doors is for peasants. The rear seats recline to 43.5 degrees. The fridge between the rear seats holds 2 champagne bottles and comes with custom-made silver flutes. Fuel economy is surprisingly decent at 16 city, 24 highway. Guess that 9-speed trans is doing some heavy lifting. The tech is mind-blowing but almost invisible. The new MBUX system spans 5 separate screens, and the Level 3 autonomous driving can literally take over on highways while you kick back with a drink. At number 4, we have the 2025 Aston Martin DB12, which I'm calling right now as the most beautiful Grand Tourer on sale today. Don't agree? Fight me. This thing starts at $247K, and for that, you're getting Aston's best interior work ever paired with a Mercedes AMG-sourced 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 that's been tuned within an inch of its life to make 671 horses. Paired with an 8-speed automatic, you'll get 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Quarter mile in 11.5 and a top end of 202 miles per hour. The exhaust note has been tuned to perfection. The cabin is next level stuff. Every stitch is perfect. The leather comes from heritage Scottish cattle herds, and there's actually decent trunk space. The new infotainment system is light years ahead of the older Aston tech. They poached some UI designers from Apple, and it shows. The 10.25-inch display is crisp, responsive, and actually makes sense. Hallelujah. Fuel economy lands at 14 city, 22 highway, which isn't bad for something this potent. The driver assistance stuff is there if you want it. Emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, the works. But it's all calibrated to stay out of your way until you really need it. Crashing into our top 3 is the 2025 Lamborghini Revuelto, the holy mother of torque. This thing is an absolute sledgehammer to the senses. $600,000 gets you the keys to what might be the last hurrah of Lamborghini's naturally aspirated V12, now paired with electric motors for a combined 1,001 horsepower. The 8-speed dual clutch is possibly the best transmission, and this thing does 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, the quarter mile in 9.1, and reaches a top speed of 217 miles per hour. The hybrid system is genuinely clever, not just a green fig leaf for regulators. You've got 10 miles of pure electric range, and a combined estimate of around 15 miles per gallon. The cockpit is straight sci-fi movie stuff. Everything is hexagons. Lamborghini's designers are obsessed with hexagons like BMW is obsessed with giant grills. The carbon fiber tub is exposed in places just to remind you what you're sitting in. The digital displays are configurable but always driver-focused. Your passenger can barely see them, which is probably for the best since the numbers would just scare them anyway. Safety-wise, it's got all the requisite systems, but they're calibrated differently. The stability control has this magical sweet spot where it lets you get the car about 15 degrees sideways before gently, and I mean gently, reining you back in. The carbon ceramic brakes are bigger, and they'll haul this beast down from 150 miles per hour with enough force to make your eyeballs change shape. Our runner-up is the 2025 Ferrari Daytona SP3. And trust me when I say this thing is automotive pornography on wheels. This price tag is around $2.25 million, assuming Ferrari even lets you buy one. Power comes from a naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12, making 829 horses, without a turbo or electric motor in sight. This thing will hit 60 in 2.8 seconds, run the quarter in 10 flat, and scream all the way to 211 miles per hour. The cockpit is minimalist in the extreme. Everything not essential to driving has been stripped away. The seats are carbon buckets integrated into the tub, and the pedal box slides to meet your feet rather than moving the seat. Storage space is basically non-existent. There's a small shelf behind the seats that might fit a toothbrush if you fold it in half. The driving position is pure race car. You're sitting with your butt about 3 inches off the ground, legs stretched out in front of you. The steering wheel has more buttons than a TV remote, and there's no touchscreen nonsense, just a driver-focused display that shows speed, revs, and gear. That 7-speed dual clutch is pure mechanical poetry. Fuel economy is predictably abysmal at 12 city, 16 highway. The safety systems are there, but they're calibrated with a light touch. What really sticks with me about the SP3 is how raw it feels. There's no sound insulation, no comfort mode, no compromises. When it rains, you can hear every water droplet hitting the carbon body. When you hit a bump, your spine knows about it. Definitely not for daily use. Alright, our number 1 spot goes to the utterly insane 2026 Bugatti Tourbillon. At over $4.6 million, this car is an investment comparable to a luxury penthouse in Manhattan. Under the skin lurks Bugatti's most extreme powertrain ever, a hybrid setup pairing the iconic quad-turbo W16 with electric motors for a combined output rumored to exceed 1,800 horsepower. The performance claims are borderline science fiction, 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds flat, quarter mile in 8.6, and a theoretical top speed north of 300 miles per hour. During early testing, the prototype was pulling so many Gs during acceleration that test drivers were experiencing momentary vision blackouts. Not even joking, they had to recalibrate the power delivery to prevent blood from rushing away from the drivers' heads. The interior is what happens when money truly is no object. Every single visible surface is either leather, carbon fiber, machined aluminum, or a material you're not even familiar with. Apparently, the dash trim uses wood from a 350-year-old maple tree that fell naturally on Bugatti's founder's original family estate. The air vents are milled from solid blocks of titanium by watchmakers, and each one takes 11 hours to produce. The speedometer goes to 500 kph or 310 miles per hour, which is either optimistic or terrifying depending on your perspective. The cooling system has more than 10 radiators and pumps enough fluid to fill a hot tub every minute. The tires are specially designed by Michelin and cost $7,000 each. Fuel economy, you've got to be kidding. It gets about 10 miles per gallon if you're gentle, which exactly 0 owners will ever be. The hybrid system provides a token electric range, but it's primarily there to fill in torque gaps and provide immediate response. The driver displays are absolutely state-of-the-art. One of them shows real-time thermal mapping of the engine and brakes so you can monitor temperatures during high-speed runs. Safety systems are comprehensive but tuned differently than anything else on the road. The traction control has been calibrated through thousands of hours of simulation. The carbon ceramic brakes are the size of trash can lids, and the calipers are 3D printed titanium to save weight. And that's a wrap. If someone handed you the keys to any of these, which one are you taking home? Be honest in the comments. Before you go, don't forget to check out our recent video on top 9 luxury SUV vehicles in 2025. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.